Remember, all I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
So it's funny and it's all fun and games that we got arrested doing a dance that's popular on the internet. But what if we were there doing something else? What if we were peaceably assembling to protect one of our rights, to protest against something the president is doing, to protest against a certain law, to protest against the war?
The Harlem Shake song and videos have gone viral, taking over the internet, and the world for that matter. Now meet Eric Faden, a student at Florida International University and the vice chairman of the Miami-Dade County Libertarian Party. It was a normal day on February 24th when Eric was contacted by a friend to come take part in a huge Harlem Shake event being filmed in Hialeah, Florida. Once the video's introduction was completed, all that remained now was the crowd of wildly dressed and dancing participants to arrive. But amidst the crowd were a few uninvited guests, local Hialeah police officers.
So then these cops get here and start clearing the area as if we were obstructing them, which we weren't. And so I pull out my camera like any good activist would do. And as soon as I pull his camera out, the officer just starts firing away. Turn that off! Turn that off right now! Turn that off! And he can't take it that I'm filming him. And scared, I'm walking away like, sir, this is legal, this is legal. Then I guess the other officers heard him yelling at me, so they start, joining in on the party to try to take my phone away from me. So
they basically just start ganging up on you, essentially.
Yeah. They start bullying me and ganging up on me. I'm backtracking at this point, and one of them is coming up from my back, and I'm filming him over my shoulder as he's walking towards me. Then he starts putting his hands on me and trying to grab my phone, and I pull away and lock my phone and put it in my pocket. At that point, they grab me by the shoulders and put a foot out to trip me onto the ground. My face got all dirty and messed up. And then when I'm on the ground, I feel like a distinct blow to the back of the head, which could have either been a punch or a kick while I'm on the ground. Then they pulled my arms back and put them in handcuffs. Then they rolled me over on my back, and a hand went down my pants and into my pocket and reached out for my phone, and they took it.
This reminds me of the time libertarian activist Adam Kokesh, host of Adam vs. the Man, was confronted, body slammed, and arrested for dancing at the Jefferson Memorial. Yes, that's right, dancing. You know there's something wrong with your country when dancing, or moving your body in accordance with some rhythm, is a crime. This trend of cops arresting dancers is bringing a whole new meaning to the term fun police.
I went to the Hialeah station where they kept us there for hours trying to figure out what it was that they were going to book us with. Apparently, the officer that arrested me was filling out the paperwork, and it seemed like he had to rip up his paper and start a new one every few minutes. And he's flipping through the pages of the Florida law book, trying to figure out what it was. I could hear them over talking, and at first he thought that me filming him was illegal, which it isn't. And then Officer Zengin Diaz comes up to us and starts telling us, okay, so show us what you have in these phones. And the entire time he's telling us, like, if you put this film up on the internet, you would be breaking the law. He's like, I can sue you guys if you put this film up on the internet. I knew it was bullshit. And then he goes, okay, how about you? And I'm like, no. And he's like, no what? I'm like, no, officer, I do not give you permission to look through my phone. He goes, oh, really? Okay. He slams both of the phones down on the table and says, all right, since you don't want to let me look through your phone, they're both going to go into evidence, and you guys aren't going to see them for maybe weeks. You're not going to see them till the end of the trial.
Total thuggery.
Yeah, definitely.
Don't these cops have, like, something better to do with their time and our tax money than fucking interrogate so viciously just a couple of young guys doing a dance on a public property? You'd think they'd have something more important to do, you know? Yeah,
absolutely. They have something better to do than pester young kids trying to film a video. It's sad that our tax dollars go towards paying thugs to arrest us while we're trying to be peaceful and assemble to film videos for YouTube, which is one of the reasons it bothers me. And this was on CBS 4. So it's funny and it's all fun and games that we got arrested doing a dance that's popular on the internet. But what if we were there doing something else? What if we were peaceably assembling to protect one of our rights, to protest against something the president is doing, to protest against a certain law, to protest against the war? The First Amendment protects us to be there, and those cops didn't understand that. And this could happen to anybody out there that wants to stand where they are legally allowed to stand.
It's quite ironic that the people who are paid and given the opportunity and the task to enforce the law clearly don't even know the law.
Yeah, it seems like the Bill of Rights is non-existent. It's sad that in the United States of America, which is supposed to be the land of the free, I can be arrested and hit by a police officer and thrown in jail for a day, when if that was a regular citizen, he'd be charged for assault.
Ah, yes, the irony of the state. If you or I tackle someone to the floor and strike them on the back of the head, we get arrested. But if the cops do it, they just arrest you for getting beat up. Remember, the government is the institution that requires the reversal of logic. If you and I spend money we don't have, it's called debt. When the government does that, it's called inflation and a stimulus package. If you and I rob our neighbors, it's called theft. And when the government does it, it's called taxation. The government operating by a different set of rules than you do is no different than an elitist not having to obey the laws because they wrote the damn laws. The government is not any more noble, moral, or deserving than you are, because the government is nothing more than a collection of humans, individual humans who are as susceptible to biological impulses, greed, and corruption as anybody else. But as long as we believe the government is more than what it actually is, then we will continue to grant it the power it assumes over our lives.
Do you think this country is heading in a direction more towards freedom and cooperation, or more towards oppression and fascism?
I like to be optimistic and say the former, but unfortunately a lot of times there are signs that show the latter. I think it's sad that the police have the capabilities to be able to put their hands on people and assault them and take away their cameras. I mean, photography is not a crime. They need to understand that, and the public needs to understand that too. It's not illegal to film in a public place, and it's especially not illegal to film police. And I think more people should do it. In my case, it's sad that what happened to me, but I think if more people start waking up and pulling out their cameras whenever they see injustice, the police will start acting accordingly and how they should be.
Videotaping police officers is something people do for the same reason the cops videotape us, for mutual protection. If cop cars are, by default, always recording us, why can't we use it to record them? This is not because all cops are evil, and this is not just because of some blind rebellion without a cause. This is because power is dangerous. Power is the capacity to contradict the self-interests of other people around you in society. The best ways to achieve peace is for people to draw the metaphorical line in the sand. This is about respect for yourself, not so you can accumulate power to dominate others, but so that you can prevent others from dominating you. If cops are afraid of being recorded, then they've got something to hide. Cops are public officials. There's no room for privacy in the word public.